Hey Crow Nation, welcome back to KL Insider. I'm Skylar Jenkins.
And I'm Pat McGuire.
And it's Workhorse Week this week. We have a lot of new changes on the Workhorse. It's a totally different team, so let's get started.
The Workhorses, they finished last season 3-7 and they missed the playoffs. As a team, they needed a lot of change. If you just look at their statistics scoring-wise, their top 4 scorers were all well over 100 points. But then the next best was Costa Nicholas at 72, and then after that it was Matt Sola at 55. So they did not have a lot of even scoring all over the board. I think they needed to mesh more together, have those middle ground scorers. And then this team too, it's going in a whole new direction. You have a brand new captain that's coming in, and he started off just making all these crazy moves. So this roster only has 4 players returning from KL4. The 4 players are Dave Slusser, Luke Dugan, Adam Forrester, and Scott Salvatore. They also went out and made big trades. So you know about the big trade we broke earlier in the season where the Horses acquired James Thomas, George Price, and Jim Bradley. And then they also had a recent trade. They traded prospects Bobby Lutz and Ryan Sheplock to the Night Owls for their star Tyler Katz. And then they went out and they added 6 rookies. These 6 rookies are Ryan Grzinski. He's going to be a good off-the-bench Ranger. He's probably going to see the most time out of these rookies. He's probably can put up around 80 points this season, so it'd be interesting to see what he does there. Trevor Hoff is a wedge back, and he actually will see the most time. He's going to be their starting 4th wedge back. He's going to come in and be that 4th position. He's very good defensively, and he has that backdoor presence. Brett Kaufman, he's another wedge back. He's probably going to be the rotating in and out, the first one off the bench for them. Scott Beagle, he's a Ranger. You might see him a couple minutes. He can put up good points. He has a good arm. He just has to work on some shooting techniques. Mike Gula, he's a wedge back. He's going to be that 6th wedge back on these guys' roster. He's a little young, so he might need a little bit to develop, so look out for him. And Jeff Emmy, another Ranger, who can play any position. You can put him in at crosser, Ranger, or wedge back. So if a guy goes down, look for him to be the first one in.
So to put it in perspective, here's the full lineup. Dave Slusser, George Price, Richie Schaefer, Tyler Katz, Scott Salvatore, Luke Dugan, Ryan Grzinski, Jeff Emmy, Scott Beagle, James Thomas, Jim Bradley, Adam Forrester, Trevor Hopf, Brett Kaufman, Mike Gula. They are looking for one more player at the Winter Classic. They're looking to recruit somebody because there was a last-minute retire, and that was Bud Yenyak.
This whole roster, you have guys that can rotate in and out of position, not even just from crosser to Ranger, from Ranger to wedge back and wedge back to crosser. Like you will see guys moving every which way to make this perfect starting lineup. But I do have to make a prediction for what I think, and for week 1, what I think they're going to go with is crossers, Dave Slusser and George Price to start. Rangers, Richie Schaefer, Tyler Katz, Scott Salvatore, and Luke Dugan. Luke Dugan is probably the only guy on this roster you know is going to be a Ranger. Everyone else can move. Scott Salvatore, he's actually been playing crosser in the past couple Chrono Rec leagues. He's been performing very well at it. Tyler Katz, you know, last year he was a wedge back the entire year with the Night Owls, but now he's going to be a Ranger. Richie, he can go in the wedge back and play that position. When he first started his Chrono career, he was a wedge back, and he was very good at it. Or you can see him moving to crosser, moving the ball more on offense. So it'll be interesting to see what they do through the season. And then wedge backs, this is another easy one. It's going to be Jim Bradley, James Thomas, Adam Forrester, and Trevor Hoff. But again, if one of these guys isn't performing, they have probably 4 other guys on their roster that can step up and perform very well in that spot at wedge back. So it'll be interesting to see as of for what they're going to do this upcoming season. All right, so this roster, it's composed of 3 Chrono Rec League teams on top of pros that have already been in the league. So the one team is the Ole Miss team. This team, they performed very well in the Rec League, so I'm excited to see that their guys are making it in. It's George Price, Ryan Grzinski, Jim Bradley, and Brett Kaufman have all played together in the Rec League. And then another team is the Toon Squad. In the Toon Squad, it's Richie Schaefer, Tyler Katz, Jeff Emmy, and Trevor Hopp, and Mike Gula have all played together too. And then the third team that is coming together here, it's going to be like the previous horses that have been on there, the 4 guys. And then also they picked up a couple guys that are from the rec league, like Scott Beagle. They're going to just come in and they're going to have to mesh with these guys. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. And I can see this team being a better second half team than they are first half. And that might work in their favor, because if you look in a lot of sports, how you win the championship is getting hot at the right time, and the right time is always going into the playoffs. So if they get in the playoffs, I'd watch out. They might make a run to that championship.
Last season, the Workhorses had some strong players on the field that they kind of depended on too much. And with this wide variety of different kinds of players and different styles and different ages, it's going to be interesting to see how they play together. They're definitely going to have their own unique style, and hopefully they can all mesh together.
So we do have the official preseason dates for this upcoming KL5. The preseason is going to take place on March 8th, March 15th, and March 22nd, and also March 29th. And then the official season opener is going to be on April 12th. And then we're going to come to you guys with more details about times and where to watch and everything like that.
So this next week on Saturday is going to be the annual Winter Classic tournament. A cool thing about this is that a couple of the teams are still looking for some last-minute spots to fill. The Workhorses, as we said, are looking for 1. Nimblejacks are still looking for 2 players. Night Owls are looking for 1. And Urban Legends are looking for 1. So this is not only going to be a fun tournament, but it's going to be a recruiting opportunity for some of the players who haven't been listed yet or put on a team.
Captains, they're always scouting, so they're going to keep an eye out for players that are playing extremely well. And then just some other notable pros that are going to be there. Matt Sola from the Workhorses will be there. Kevin Glover from the Urban Legends. Pete Wise from the Nimblejacks, and James Thomas from the Workhorses. They're all going to be there too. Along with Mississippi's ringleader, Nick GIDDY, will be coming and playing this weekend's tournament too. So for more information, you can check it out at Cronum.com.
So that's our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in. This is Workhorse Week, so follow our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll be posting up questions about the Workhorses, and we want to hear your feedback and predictions. And we also hope to see you next week at the Winter Classic Tournament. So I'm Skylar Jenkins.
And I'm Pat McGuire.
And we'll see you around.